Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tillman with another Tillman Takes. So what I want to do today is I want to break down a video that I actually saw come across my timeline on Instagram. Now, it's kind of interesting because I don't really know all the facts behind this. All I know is what I see in the video. I try to see what agency it came from, but I really couldn't find that yet. The only thing I did see is in the video, you're going to see it says Houston Police on the officer's uniform. So I'm going to assume that it's in Houston, Texas, but again, I can't be quite positive on that. So let's watch the video and let's talk about it after.
Don't get on his neck now. Just tase him.
Get off his neck, bro. Fuck all that shit.
Come on his back. Come on his back.
All right,
we got you.
I'm just saying, man.
Right here.
All right,
We got you.
All right, yeah.
You don't want to help out? Nah, we just.
Just get off his back. I'm just saying, you know.
Help us out. You need some help? Yeah.
I'm just saying, though, bro. Just get off. He lying. He lying. The sooner we cuff him, the sooner we can get him off. Stay still. Hey, I'm not
Yeah, get help.
He lying. Hey, don't do all that resistance, bro. Chill out, bro.
Just chill out, man. They gonna put the handcuffs on you.
Don't do all the resistance.
They go the handcuffs right there. Get the handcuffs right there.
We can't get that on.
Yeah, he don't want to give us his arm, man.
Give me your arm, bro. Give me your arm. Give me your arm, bro.
Give me your arm, man. Look, man, record this. I'm gonna get his arm so they won't hurt him. Record this. I'm gonna get his arm. Look, I'm gonna get his arm. We got a knife on. Do we got a knife on?
We haven't found him.
All right, come on, give me your arm, bro. I just don't want you to get hurt. I just don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah,
grab his arm. I don't want you to get hurt, man. I don't want you to get hurt, bro.
Cuff him. Let him move, man.
I just don't want him to get hurt. Thank you, guys.
Hold on. Got it? Yeah. Roll him over.
Roll him over.
Come on.
Okay, here you come. Hey, come here. Sit up, man. Sit up. There you go.
My taser broke off.
So you're fine.
We're getting 37 days.
So usually on Tillman Takes, they're usually negative. Somebody either loses their life or there's some type of great bodily injury that's sustained either by the officer or the suspect. This one is actually kind of a bright spot. And the reason I say that is because what you see is officers trying to effect some type of arrest with the suspect. Now, again, I don't know what happened. I don't know why the officers were called there. I don't even know what type of struggle they had. But what you see is an officer that's on top of a suspect with his knee on his back, trying to get his hands from underneath him so that way they can take him into custody. Now, before we move forward, I do want to talk about the positioning of that officer and the knee on his back. If you ask me, that is a completely fine position that officer has by detaining that guy. You know, we saw the George Floyd situation. That officer's knee was on George Floyd's neck, which was completely unacceptable. And this one, the officer has his knee on his back. So the reason why it's important to realize the positioning of his knee is because it's actually a position that we teach in the academy. I've been taught, and it's a safe position for that suspect when he's on the ground because it gives the officer a level of control, but it also allows that suspect on the ground to breathe, so that way he doesn't suffocate or anything else like that. And so that's important to highlight in this video because I want to, make sure that people understand that it's okay for this officer to have his knee on his back. Now, the other thing that they're trying to do is they're trying to get this guy's arms from underneath him. Why do we try to get a person's arms from underneath him when we're trying to detain them? One, we have to handcuff them. Two is that when their hands are underneath them, they still have access to whatever's in their pockets. They have access to guns in their pocket, knives, whatever it may be. So we want to try to pull those arms out. Now, the thing that's so cool about this video is that the officers display a level of humility. And what I mean by that is they ask for help from the immediate public. Now, typically we don't ask for help. We try to use our partners to help us as much as we can. But the officers realized in this situation that they needed a little bit more than just them and their partner to get this guy into custody. They asked for the people's help. Now, the other part that's cool about this is you can see the humility from the onlookers, the bystanders that say at first they're like, hey, no, we're not going to help. But when they really saw a genuine need by the officers that needed some help, they actually went to go assist them. Not only did they assist them, is you can actually see the civilians and the officers go into de-escalation mode, telling the guy, hey, we're not trying to hurt you. Hey, they're not trying to hurt you. Hey, give us your hands. Give us your hands. They asked the officers, does he have any knives? Hey, we don't know yet. But you can see that it was a team effort to get this guy into custody. This was a positive video because not only did the officers not get hurt, but the suspect didn't get hurt. And not only that, you also probably had some type of perception change as it pertains to law enforcement because the citizens that were looking realized that the officers weren't necessarily there to hurt this guy. And so not only did they help the officers, but they dropped their pride as well and realized that, you know what, even though those officers are struggling, or even though I may not like police officers, I'm still going to assist them to effect this arrest so that way everybody can go home safely at the end of the night. you know what, if we can all just try to learn to help each other a little bit, learn to understand where people are coming from, learn to drop our pride, learn to humble ourselves, we would have a lot more situations like this. Now, what I'm not saying is, if you're a civilian, I'm not saying, hey, you need to go out and assist officers in their day job. That's not what I'm saying, because at the same time, I don't want you to put yourself in a situation where you're going to get hurt. So I don't want you to think that, you know, I'm saying, hey, you know, Officer Tillman said go out there and help officers when there's a dire need. No, what I'm saying that is use your best judgment call, but every now and again, we will find ourselves in a situation where we do need some type of help, and that the citizens were able to drop their pride, the officers were able to drop their pride, and everybody was able to come to a peaceful resolution with the situation. I hope you guys love this Tillman Take. If you guys have any questions for me, please DM me, reach out to me. I love you guys. Take care and God bless.